Although Lilith is the name of a demoness, in Gamaliel, it is also the name of the sephira on the tree of death. What you could say is the sephira of Lilith on the tree of death is also claimed by the tree of life under the name Malkuth. So this earth, in this world, is claimed by both the tree of life and the tree of death. And as far as the tree of death, or the clipot, which is a term used to describe the demons of the tree of death, what they call Lilith, we call Malkuth. So it is this planet in this world that being of Assiah, which isn't divided physically as such, but is simply claimed by both trees. So you can see the importance for the clipot, or demonic powers, let's call them that, to gain this earth in order to complete their tree as a whole, independently. And we have to look at the demoness of Lilith, and her name is Nahema, or some may prefer to say Nahema. And I'll just go through some of the things regarding the tree of life and tree of death, because we are here on this earth, in this world, and we are seeing firsthand the results of whether by design or by default of Nahema worship. On the tree of life we have virtue and vice in all sephira, except for Keter and Chokmah. Keter and Chokmah have no vice, they only have virtue. But if we look at the rest of the tree of life, we have in the sephira of Yesod, which on the tree of death is counted by Gamaliel. Now in Yesod, the virtue is independence and the vice is idleness. And in Malkuth, which is the, I suppose you say, the opposite of what is the sephira of Lilith on the tree of death, the virtue is discrimination and the vice is inertia. Now if we look at the way things are on earth at the moment, you have laws against discrimination, you have affirmative action type policies, and you have, I suppose you would say, a go with the flow mentality, which is inertia. Now people say, oh, discrimination, you hate black people, blah blah blah. No, it's discrimination is your right to decide the sort of people you want to hang around with, the sort of people you don't want to hang around with. We choose favourites according to, I suppose you'd say, our personalities, those we have things in common with. But as we see now, that is being taken away. We also show discrimination in regards to who we have sex with, and that if things go on as they are, that too will be taken away. And with inertia, you know, what's the usual thing you hear now? Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that are bad, but what can I do about it? It's just the way of the world. Because people are so kowtowed into disregarding something that is natural to us, such as deciding what we like and what we don't like. They just go with the ebb and flow of celebrities, politicians, and so on. And this will continue to grow. You see the political correctness on the social media. So you've got a handful of people deciding your very nature. Now, if you just want to go with the flow, that's all that's going to happen. And you may be wondering, where does Nahema come into all of this? Well, it's just by default. Okay, if you want to look at it, go with the flow, look at what's it, climate change or global warming or whatever it's called this week. People say, oh yeah, save the earth, we've got to save the earth, got to go back to the Stone Age. And yeah, if you ask these people who go around peddling this, where is the evidence of such things? That the earth is going to catch on fire, or it's got so cold it's going to burn up. They can't tell you. They just go with the flow. They go with this hype. Is there pollution? Yeah, sure. There's no doubt about that. But you have within this global warming craze two groups of people. Usually the ones running it are like academics in their 40s or 50s, and the followers are more or less teenagers and people in their early 20s. You can read into that what you will. But, the environment doesn't really play a part in all of this global warming craze. It's more about money. It's more about, give all these countries billions of dollars, third world countries. Give them billions of dollars, and what happens? They're still poor. It's just, a racket. That's all it is. Now, where it should be concerned, something that was supposedly based on environmentalism is also bringing in, I suppose you'd say, a religious type part, because now we have to worship Mother Earth. Who's Mother Earth? Oh, it's the goddess. Who's the goddess? What, you asking who the goddess is? Oh, you're a racist. The people who are injecting this sort of stuff do not want you to ask where it's all coming from. You have this mob thing of people just going along, yay Mother Earth, yay the goddess. And they will not question. They don't ask questions. They can't decide whether something's right or wrong because they throw away discrimination and thus by default end up in inertia and go with the flow. So Nahema, when you look at it, Nahema serves the Satan. Now, most of the people peddling all these go with the flow type ideologies, beliefs, and so on are atheists. So, if they, let's say they realise that there is a Nahema, there is a tree of death, and so on, and I think, oh well, I serve Nahema and Satan's going to be good to me and all that sort of stuff. That is simply not true. they are not obligated to serve people or help people who do not worship the Satan. This is what they have to understand. And this corruption, this, this injection of stupidity into the collective consciousness of the world, does not just come out of nowhere. It has to be organized. And the hip young yuppie atheists who peddle this stuff, they're just the useful idiots. You see that like in history with communism, when the communists took over a country, the first thing they did was shoot the useful idiots, because nobody likes stupid people. It's as simple as that. And that is the people who are, in on the joke. They understand discrimination and inertia, whereas everyone else who follows them is the butt of the joke. So we can see, this default Nahema, worship servitude, in politics, in economy, the environment, even though the environment is not really taken care of, because it never was about the environment. It is about gaining Tebhel and Cheled in Assiah in order to complete the tree of death. So if you want to look at it in an occult manner, people may ask, is there any Nahema worship? Is there Nahema church or whatever? No, for the most part, because people by default will serve these things because it's hip, it's fashionable, it's progressive. Yay. But if you want to look at the type of Nahema servitude, which in turn serves the Satan regardless of who's holding the title, we can look at Wicca. Now, Wicca cannot hold true because it was never meant to be an occult based religion of any sort. It was just the personal musings of Gerald Gardner. So it cannot hold true. There's no system behind it. And we see now Wicca incorporating all sorts of mythologies, philosophies, and so on, because it has to. I've read, occult works, if you want to call it them. People bringing in like Asian mythologies and ancient Greek mythologies and blending them in to try and make something. But they all fail. That's what they're designed to do. They're already designed to catch the useful idiots and keep them long enough till the job is done. Then who cares what happens to them afterwards? So if you're asking, is Nahema evil? Well, only, in the respect of what she serves. Depends how far you want to get into it to understand, the greater picture. Now, I could go on about it, Nahema, Lilith, and Abizu. one of the things when mankind first came about, after the expulsion from the Garden of Eden, and you got Abel, Cain, and so on and so on. That's when they took to killing children, newborn babies. But it seemed to be somewhat selective. I myself, I believe that they were hoping to kill the human bodies that would contain particular souls. Because if those three were killing children 24/7 since the beginning of time, well, we wouldn't be here. Unless God decided to snuff them out completely, but then again, He expelled them here, bound to this earth, and gave them autonomy. So, like I said, I don't really want to go on about that because it just leads one thing to another, and I end up losing you along the way and caught up in stuff which will take a hell of a lot of time to try and understand and comprehend. And the way the world is at the moment, I don't think we really have that time. So, yeah. Just by observing your societies, you have to ask, where does this nut job consciousness come from? With people peddling all sorts of fads, trends, manias, and so on. And you have to ask yourself, how did this all just come out of nowhere? Fact is, it didn't. And I'll just end this here. Like I said, it becomes a bit too much sometimes to try and comprehend everything and explain everything. So, until next time, I'll probably do another clip. I want to look at the Shem HaMephorash and Goetia. It's about the way things balance out in these two systems.